It's unfortunate to say, but I have to start off this video with some very sad news. All Elite Wrestling, the company that just brought back CM Punk that everybody's really excited about, it's going out of business in a year. That's according to this comment I found on Reddit from 3 years ago. I just find it really interesting because obviously when WWE started back in 1918... I don't actually know when WWE started, but the point is, it was so long ago that nobody's thoughts or opinions at the time were archived, but AEW is so young that you can literally go back to the start of AEW and see exactly what everyone was saying about it 3 years ago. So we're going to go back on Reddit and we're going to see what everybody was saying when it first got announced and see how well or how badly it's aged. We begin on the 22nd of May 2016. With the fairly minor news that Stardust has been released from the company. Wow. I know there's probably no such thing as a WWE lifer, but I always felt like Cody would be as close to one as you could get. Not quite. Then we get to a story where Cody Rhodes claims that himself and the Young Bucks can sell out a 10,000-seater arena, and immediately we are greeted with patronising comments such as, "I respect the enthusiasm. Bless his heart. Can never say Cody isn't confident in himself. I'll laugh my ass off if he actually does something like this and becomes a genuine draw because that would once again prove that wrestling fans don't know shit." I think it's awesome he believes in himself, but I don't see that one happening. Even if they were able to finally bring Kenny over, I couldn't see 10k plus. 5k maybe, but even WWE with Cena and Brock on the card have trouble selling out big venues. This will never happen. I like Cody's confidence and willingness to back himself in the books, but this ain't gonna happen. Cody couldn't draw a dime if he had a pen. The only thing Cody ever drew was that stupid star on his face. Pretty crazy that ICW is more likely to draw 10,000 from just Glasgow fans. Alright, Braveheart, calm down. I would say that this comment has aged badly, but that would suggest and imply that the comment was ever good to begin with. I think this response is actually a pretty fair example of how things were at the time. I really hope that this is Cody playing a delusional character on Twitter, because if he honestly thinks he and the Young Bucks could sell out a 10,000 seat arena, okay, bud. And this is where things get juicy, right? This is where things get a bit fruity. So we're getting into the formation of AEW, and the first ever post on Reddit about AEW. Jags owner Shad Khan to get into the wrestling business? It was completely ignored. Could you imagine putting in all that effort and all that work onto Reddit just to get completely ignored? That'd never be me. I will worship Shahid Khan as a god if he puts WWE on blast and creates a legit rival promotion to push WWE. Who else agrees? Nah. Worshipping someone as a god for making another wrestling company seems like a lot of work. I'm gonna go play some Final Fantasy Tactics instead. You're saying that now. You're saying that now, but fast forward 2 years and come back to me. It's never gonna happen. Shit, it took him this long to make the Jaguars good, lol. Imagine if Shahid Khan creates a wrestling promotion that kills/absorbs WWE and his Jaguars build a championship dynasty. Meanwhile, Vince McMahon goes completely out of business, losing WWE and XFL bombs. On his deathbed, he curses the name Shahid Khan before expiring. The fuck? Unlike everyone else, I think there's actually a little bit of something here. Tuesday Night Dynamite sounds interesting. On TNT. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, it took me 3 years. I did not make that connection for 3 years. Wednesday Night Dynamite on TNT. Oh, I'm actually not an intelligent person. Interesting to think AJ Styles, Nakamura, Gallows and Anderson's contracts are all up in March. And more interestingly enough, still none of those lads are signed to AEW. Just saw a post on 4chan speculating CM Punk could join as well. This one I highly doubt, but also not impossible. I could see CM Punk as a commentator at best, not a wrestler. Could you imagine that's what all that was about? He's shown up and got the pop of the century just to be a commentator. This has to be a fan playing a joke. That's another mad scenario. Could you imagine after all this time, after the CM Punk comes back and everything, Tony Khan just turns around and says, "Lads, it was just a prank. I was only messing. There is no wrestling show." And we go back to the way it was. AEW sounds lame. They should have got a better name. LOL, this won't compete with WWE in the slightest. It's gonna flounder bad. As someone who lived through the Monday Night Wars, my dream in wrestling is for there to be a legitimate number 2 wrestling promotion in North America again. Wrestlers win and the fans would win. Well, here we are. I'm now wondering if Jericho or Omega will be part of the roster. You know both of them will win the AEW World title at some point. There's another good shout. Here's my take. All other companies with TV, MLW, Impact and Ring of Honor have exclusivity contracts, so what talent is out there to hold down a roster? Unless they're making/finding new talent or poaching talent, how will this work? If only there was a certain forbidden door that I can introduce you to. Oh no, wait. It'll just be Omega versus the Bucks versus Hangman versus Cody every week, lol. Now we're at the stage where logos and things like that are starting to get announced, and this one says, the grunge splatter on the text feels super outdated to me, so I removed it. I like this a lot better. And it turns out we just removed the entire image. Any promotion based around Cody is valueless. Zero interest. The Elite. The Elite. This chant sucks. And again, another comment that's 100% spot on. I'll give them one thing. Like 80% of pro wrestling acronyms start with the W, so it already stands out. I'm not gonna lie, this one actually stressed me out quite a lot, because I genuinely, obviously there's WWE, and then after that I genuinely couldn't think of any. And then this person gave some examples. WCPW, World of Sport, both of those companies are now dead. How long till it flops? This lad has written an essay about his concerns surrounding AEW and why he thinks they may not be a success. Edit. Wow. The downvotes for providing a rational counterpoint, or was it because I dared to admit I wasn't a fan of Cody and the Bucks? Never fucking change, squared circle. Never fucking change. You're on -1. Wild pessimistic bet. WWE buys them out in 1 to 2 years and AEW's roster is absorbed into NXT. Wild optimistic bet. AEW works in an open, unexclusive sense with their roster, allowing them to perform essentially anywhere, which causes WWE to reconsider their approach as to not lose talent or get with the times, and we finally get some cross-promotion dream matches. So, I would call that a really excellent prediction, but he did kind of play both sides that he'd come out on top. All Elite Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, and Defiant Wrestling. New Japan Wrestling and Ring of Honor. Those are the names of wrestling companies. This is very exciting. I'm curious to see if any WWE talent jump ship now and roll the dice. I know a lot of us have Ryder in mind. Zack Ryder ain't gonna sell tickets, bud. I always find it weird looking back at like old threads and seeing how none of us predicted that Zack Ryder would be a deathmatch icon. I kind of felt like in hindsight that was really predictable, considering he's an ECW original and all that. It just seemed written in the stars, but you know, a bit embarrassing none of us were able to predict that. Let's all hope this fails as quickly as the XFL did and will again. Jerk off motion in your direction. Got him. Click 2.0 running a Fed. What could possibly go wrong? Curious to see if anyone partners with them. Doubtful Ring of Honor will take kindly to direct competition. What is the roster going to consist of? And how long before the shine wears off when the other wrestlers on the roster tire of the Elite being in every angle? It's definitely going to be interesting. I really hope AEW use the NWA titles. I think it could draw in some form of fans and be a great callback. This, in my opinion, is actually the best aged comment thus far. Remind me, 1 year, rest in peace AEW. Not as good of a comment that in terms of how well it's aged. Lamau, I'm predicting they will never come close to competing with WWE. Impact and Ring of Honor sure as hell aren't, so what chance do they have? I give it a year before they fold and go out of business. Maybe Neville will go work for them and then quit because he's a spoiled. Could we be seeing a Tuesday Night War perhaps? -6. I'm delighted this man got downvoted. Imagine suggesting WWE and AEW going head to head. You are so dumb. The Cans also own Fulham FC here in the UK, but this is what wrestling needs. A company with a financial backer who'll take them seriously. Now, I did misread this at the start, and I thought it meant other people taking the owners seriously, and I don't mean to disrespect, you know, big dog Tony Khan, and I'm not saying that people aren't taking him seriously. I'm just saying that it reminded me of this image, and it made me laugh quite a lot. I'd like to see Mitrovic step in the ring.
And she'll love it. She'll love it, the whore. Your mum would love it.
What if I told you AEW could be on TBS/TNT? I'd tell you to wake up. I still don't understand how Cody and his friend's vanity project will save wrestling. No company that isn't WWE is getting a decent TV deal. Ring of Honor is in syndication, New Japan's on Axis, and Impact is on Pursuit. Where do people expect AEW to get a TV deal? AEW All Elite Wrestling is a terrible name. The guys should not be starting their own promotion. I think they're overestimating themselves. All In was great. A one-time thing they could maybe do once a year. I'd rather see them all stay in New Japan than start their own promotion. Do we really need another wrestling company? The name is terrible, they're jumping too far into the deep end all at once. Cody is champion. Going out of business in a year. Great, a promotion where all the creators will hold the main belt at some point. All Elite Vanity Project. Rumored wrestling promotion in 2019. 2019 is going to be the year that changes the wrestling business, or the opposite happens, in which we get worked super hard. With the billionaire backing this rumored promotion and Jericho, JR and BTE guys getting involved, what do you think the name of this major league promotion will be? It should be called Not Happening Wrestling. Here's what I don't think it's going to be named. Elite Championship Wrestling. If this is what it's called, it should be referred to as Elite. Like Pro Wrestling Noah is just shortened to Noah. All In Pro Wrestling. ECW AIPW just rolls off the tongue. I agree. But also, what is the point in this thread? Here's what I don't think it's going to be named. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that probably won't be named. I don't think it's going to be named Kevin. I don't think it's going to be named Keith. I don't think it's going to be named Your Dad Eats 7 Chicken Nuggets on Wednesday, but 8 on Thursday. In fact, I think if I started a thread back then for all the things I didn't think it was going to be called, then by the time it actually started on TNT, I'd probably still be doing the thread. I got the perfect name for this promotion. Flop. Here's what it could be called. All In Wrestling, Elite Wrestling, CM Punk Wrestling, The Young Bucks Wrestling, Cody Wrestling, Bullet Club Wrestling. Maybe Shahid Khan doesn't like the same things you like. There's just as much chance his promotion will feature Chris Masters, Carlito and MVP in the main event as your favourite indie stars. Well, maybe Masters, Carlito and MVP are my favourites. Ever thought about that? I think AEW is the next Global Force Wrestling. Like Jeff Jarrett's company, who tried to start a promotion and failed, had no TV deals, I truly believe that AEW will fail as well. And no, I don't hate the Elite, I just think they try to bite off more than they can chew. I think it'll turn out better, but it's a fair comparison. I have a lot of concerns with AEW. I really think the big issue is that the Elite completely misread All In as the desire by fans for another company, not the desire for another indie supercard bringing top New Japan talent with them. AEW as a once or twice a year PWG style promotion with New Japan talent cool. As a Ring of Honor or WWE Light style promotion, not what's needed. I think the key is they don't want to be a Ring of Honor or WWE Light style promotion. I think Cody and Matt are really underrated as creative minds. Obviously a long way to go, but if they can get a TV deal, there's clearly a desire by fans for another company. There isn't a desire though. Haha, I don't know why you say there isn't a desire. There's millions of people not watching Raw anymore who used to. Many of those, myself included, still want to be wrestling fans, but don't like what's out there right now. 0 points. Nobody had any faith in this whatsoever. This is going to be a very entertaining post to look back on after AEW signed CM Punk and Austin Aries as the top heels in the company. People aren't hoping it fails, but they're being realistic. Some people think it's going to focus on WWE, but it's not. At best, AEW is on the level of Impact Wrestling. Some people also see this just being a vanity project for Cody and the Bucks. When active wrestlers all make the decisions, it doesn't work out great. Guarantee Cody is the first world champ and the Bucks are the first tag champs. What if AEW is a work and WWE is actually signing the Elite? Okay, that one might be true.